And liftoff.
As soon as he blasted off towards the International Space Station 6 months ago, Tim Peake went from being a relatively unknown UK Army pilot to being the celebrated face of the UK's space ambitions. Since arriving on board, he's been involved in more than 250 experiments, including test driving a Mars rover back on Earth, and even finding time to run the London Marathon whilst up in space.
Good afternoon. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now.
And so when I spoke to him earlier, he said the experience was everything he could have hoped for and more.
There are no words can really describe what it's like to experience a rocket launch, to go into space and to see that first sunrise as you orbit the planet. And everything that I've managed to achieve in this 6-month mission has just been incredible.
But Tim told me that as much as he's enjoyed every minute of his time in space, the hardest thing was being away from those closest to him.
Of course, I've got family back home and friends, and so I'm looking forward to seeing them again. And with a young family as well, being away for over 6 months is particularly difficult.
He told me he hoped his mission would show young people how inspiring and exciting science could be. And more than anything, he hoped politicians would support sending more British astronauts into space.
I certainly hope that this will pave the way for the UK's continued involvement in human spaceflight, and the UK needs to be involved right now if it wants to play a serious role into the future.
So you've been isolated up there, working away in the space station, but you left relatively unknown. You're going to come back as someone really in the public eye.
Well, it's certainly something that will, have changed for me and will take some getting used to. I think I'm probably fortunate in the fact that I'll actually be living and travelling still away from the UK quite a lot. So I don't get recognised in Houston, of course. I'm just one of many astronauts there, which is quite nice to have an ordinary life.
Major Tim Peake now has less than 3 weeks left on the International Space Station, with preparations now underway for his return to Earth, which is one of the most dangerous parts of the mission.
The landing is definitely not a trivial event. We have to decelerate from 17,500 miles per hour, come into the Earth's atmosphere, and of course that takes a lot of punishment on both the spacecraft and it takes a lot of punishment on the body as well. But most astronauts describe it as a really good ride, so I'm just looking forward to it at this stage.
But he now hopes his return to Earth will mark the next step in the UK's mission in space and not its final act there.